Hello there. Hello. I would love, yeah. Let's hope mic works. I'm going to check. Should be working. I'm going to make sure, though, it works. Give me a minute. And I'll be right there. And I will react to Family Guy, even though you can't see the TV. Okay. Okay, that should be good enough. Okay. Yeah, okay, well now let's watch or let me watch Family Guy and I'll try to tell you what's going on here. Yeah, viewer discretion is advised. TV 14 DLSV suggested dialogue, language, sexual situations, and violence.
Discretion is advised.
It seems today that all you see is violence and movies and sex on TV, where those good old fashioned values on which we used to rely. Nothing is a Family Guy. Laugh and cry. He's a family guy.
Coming up tonight, Quahog's own poet Laura comes to the set and graces us with her. Oh God, that's tonight. Jerome, turn on the game.
Sorry, guys. Cable's out. We're only getting local stations.
Local
Now we're gonna
stations.
talk sports to pass the time.
Or maybe watch Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Like a goof.
You know, if you want to talk sports, I've got quite a story to tell.
Oh, this is the one where Lorelei's mom makes her martini with an onion instead of an olive.
Martini with an onion.
If you knew her mom, you'd know that's a passive-aggressive move.
It all started when I was a young boy.
Last chance on this Gilmore Girls thing.
I was a baseball prodigy. It was back home in the Cuban League. I grew up working in the tobacco fields outside
Tobacco
of
fields.
That's where I learned to play baseball. Our mitts were made of cigars. Some of them
Mitts were made out of cigars.
All right, I got it.
Cleveland.
I drove a cab. We all had to drive huge cars there. I was just a regular young man wearing pants that went above my belly button.
For your fun self.
When I was 9, my father took me to my first baseball game. Fidel Castro was there to throw out the first pitch. He was wearing the same outfit as always.
Oh.
Later, we would find out he had a fashion disease known as chronic fatigue syndrome. We would write more jokes about him, but our dumb writers only know what he looks like.
Strike!
We all worshipped Che Guevara, although none of us really knew what side he was on. Thank you. But we knew he'd make a great poster in college dorm rooms someday.
God.
CSI, or like you want national anthem.
In Cuba, we hated America so much we copied everything they did and died trying to get there.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Said there was CIA all over our island, but I never saw any.
Yeah! All right!
But from that day on, I fell in love with baseball. I dreamed of one day playing in the big leagues, so I signed up for a montage to get better. I was at the top of my game. I didn't even need the full montage. I was even recruited to play on Cuba's national team, the Good in Juniors.
The Good in Juniors.
We tried to play, but it was difficult because hurricane season was February through January.
Yeah. Damn that hurricane.
Hurricane would sweep through, decimating the island, causing hundreds of dollars worth of damage. Under Castro, every male over the age of 18 was required to serve 2 years as a band leader.
Yeah, Cleveland singing that Havana Club. That's so. Family Guy is so interesting how they do.
I love baseball, but yearn to play in America.
Uh-oh.
I would look across the water and dream about the great time.
I already watched this yesterday, but I'm watching it again.
I bet it's not so great.
Shit.
I knew what I had to do. There was nothing against Cuba. Cuba was nice. We had a bay of hotties, but also another
Bay of hotties.
Women. I forget what they called it. However, tensions between the U.S. and Cuba were high. Castro was not happy that they had named the most dangerously gay part of San Francisco after him. Defecting to the U.S. was punishable by prison or death, but I was determined. Then came my chance. The Cuba Good in Juniors had an away game in Barbados.
Oh yeah, Mom, we're gonna escape to the Cayman Islands.
Cayman my ass, I'm going to America. Okay, when we land in America, we all have to stop saying Cuba. The sea was choppy, and the sharks were relentless. Who is it?
Not a shark?
Don't open it!
No, just people.
Yeah, people!
And sharks. Shh. No sharks, just people.
People and sharks.
After a week at sea, we saw the glittering lights of Miami. It was beautiful. Then we decided to go to Quahog instead, which took 8 more months. Eventually, I signed a large deal with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Toronto Blue Jays.
From a warm weather climate, it didn't work out. I still remember my first major league game. It was 4 hours and 25 minutes long. I was like, what the?
Animation Monday starts May 31st on Fox.
I think this next story was the best one, which was Quagmire's story.
I had no idea you played baseball. Too bad you couldn't hit a home run with a Cleveland show.
Well, it certainly wasn't a whiff or a foul. It was a double.
You know, you're not the only one who got a taste of sports glory. I had a pretty good run myself.
Scrawny little guy like you, Quagmire? What do you
Remember the
I was
Cleveland
competitive
show?
baseball. Some might say too competitive, but I was the breath of fresh air that the stuffy tennis world needed. I was born into a real tennis family. On my first birthday, my mother gave me a little head. I wanted to be the first male cheerleader for tennis. I cheer on 2 occasions, day and night. Ooh, tennis!
Poor Quagmire.
I decided to just play tennis. But it was understood I'd grow up to be a tennis player like my father, and his father before him, and his father before him. We came from a long line of tennis dicks. I had
Tennis
6 brothers,
dicks.
but they all sliced off their hands opening a tennis ball can, possibly the most dangerous object known to mankind. Hey guys, anyone want to play tennis? Llewellyn, no! But I would do everything I could to make my now female father happy. Practices were intense.
I feel like you skipped over a very big story point right there.
My father was a World War II vet, so he used to make me reenact the D-Day landing with tennis balls.
Oh, that's bad.
paid off. I got invited to the first U.S. Open, which at the time was called the U.S. Now Open. There, I met the players.
U.S. Now Open.
Sweden's head Benson. He'd bring his personal chef to every match, which was very distracting. What the hell?
The Swedish chef.
Come on, this can't be legal. What, you blind? Serve ball!
Animal from the Muppets.
I was the bad boy in tennis. My unconventional style of play changed the game. Before I came along, tennis was so safe, it was customary to hit a six-handed backhand. I pioneered the one-handed backhand. And eventually, the no-handed backhand.
God.
Fire! I love your backhand! That sounds like a backhanded compliment. I also clouded tennis etiquette by wearing the longest, baggiest shorts the game had ever seen. People criticized my style of play because I argued with umpires and was taught to bounce the ball 40 times before my serve.
Just bouncing the ball. People looking at him. Interesting.
I'd won the U.S. Open, and I wouldn't settle for just that. My goal was the coveted Grand Slam.
Covered Grand
Sausage and bacon a day. One day.
Grand Slam at Denny's.
Maybe your birthday. I made it to Wimbledon and got to play in front of the Queen, Freddie Mercury. I altered my 40 bounce routine just for him. It was an honor playing for Freddie on grass back then. He later died. The doctor said it was asphalt. It was the era before AIDS, but a lot of tennis players had to deal with the scourge of penis garronitis. Despite my on-court temper tantrums, I was on top of the world. And that's when I saw her. Tatum O70s, the hottest actress of the era. She was fresh off her success playing an 11-year-old in a Little League movie, which for some reason made her the biggest sex symbol in Hollywood.
Thought you might need this.
Thanks. I'm glad.
I know. I watched you smash your racket and scream at the baby.
You know, if you're free after this, we could go back to my place and try to fit some balls in your can. Practice tantrum sex. Something I learned from Sting, but probably misheard. What? Are you crazy? That was it! We became New York's it couple of the 70s. We hung out at Studio 55. There was no one there. We could hear a lot of noise coming from next door. I got to meet the greatest athletes of my generation.
Glenn, how would you like to meet Bobby Orr?
Or who?
Bobby Orr.
Yeah, Bobby or who? What's the other
Bobby
choice?
or who?
Bobby Orr.
You told me Bobby's the first choice. What's the alternative?
All right, forget that. Do you want to meet Rick Monday?
Well, sure, I could do Monday, but who is it? By the 1980s, things were starting to unravel. My temper on the court was increasingly an issue.
Out.
Are you serious? You cannot be serious! I had a hard time telling if people were serious.
I spilled spot remover on my dog, and now it's gone.
Are you serious? I became famous for smashing rackets when things didn't go my way. Of course, back then we didn't have multiple rackets, so I was forced to play with them.
Uh-oh.
My career ended when I developed the yips. And in 2001, at the U.S. Open, my first serve hit a plane, causing it to go tragically off course and hit a building. Everyone blamed the Muslims. My second serve was no better.
buddy.
911 Lone Star to
Damn.
Fox.
You guys talking sports stories? You know, I won a bronze medal in the '84 Olympics.
Are you serious?
Track and field. It's a pretty good story. It's a series of coincidences that if someone wrote, no one would believe.
Oh my God, why is there only half a medal?
How much time you got?
We got about 7 minutes and I haven't gone yet. Rocky. Like most, my day began with block letters of my name floating past the screen. I grew up on the mean streets of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, or as I called it, America's northernmost hillbillies. I was an Italian guy from the South Side who never had a chance in life, but I had a dream to one day be the heavyweight champ.
Yo,
Yeah, that's what I dreamed too growing up.
Yo, BD! Yo, the lady who...
But except it wasn't boxing, it was more like wrestling.
Losing dozens of men every day to singing over open trash cans.
And being heavyweight champion.
Yo, flaming guy! I was a too-big knuckle breaker for the mob, but it was a flash mob. You owe us $2 grand! Don't make me come back! You better pay or we'll funk you up! I said we will funk you up! Like most fighters, I fell in love with the local autistic girl who worked at the pet shop. I was one of her pet shop boys. Yo, hey Turtles, how you doing? How come they're not moving?
We sat on them yesterday, but dead. What happened to your eye?
I got beat up again in a fight. Yo, Lois, the San Gennaro Festival was last weekend. Yeah, I was wondering if maybe you might want to go to it with me.
When is it?
Last weekend.
Well, then I don't think that's possible, Peter. No.
I could see she was going to play hard to get. All right, okay, well, want to maybe go to the park and feed the pigeons yesterday?
Peter, I already did yesterday's stuff. Sorry.
Well, then, how about we just get coffee this morning before you got to be at work?
It's 4 in the afternoon. I'm afraid that's not going to work either.
Okay, well, I'll circle back last week and see what your schedule looks like. I was not the smartest guy, but I wasn't going to give up. I lived in the Little Italy section of Philly. My apartment was tiny. I didn't have much stuff, but still it felt cramped. I really needed a bigger place.
Oh,
I
sorry.
wanted to work the speed bag, but my gym was so cheap.
Just making sure the audio was actually working.
Hard to hit. I fought my way up through the amateur ranks. Most fights, my greatest challenge was entering the ring without getting completely tangled in the ropes. Will it help? Is my butt out? My butt's out, isn't it? Yeah, sorry you got to see that back there, ma'am. Yeah, I couldn't wipe. I had my gloves on already. Stop taking pictures, please. My least favorite part of boxing was the weigh-ins. Hey, Peter, Damon, Marlon.
Good luck, Peter.
Move! Oh, ha, ha! And I was the only guy who wouldn't get naked in the locker room. I don't got a problem getting naked. I just don't have to change right now. I became known as an up-and-comer with a mean left hook who farted every time he got punched in the stomach. By the second round, the entire front row had pink eye. I ran with a towel around my neck, tucked into my sweatsuit, because I always wanted to look like a rich guy in a bathrobe. Then I promised Lois I'd see the Mark Rothko exhibit at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. But when I got there, it was closed.
It was closed.
Meanwhile, Lois and I were getting serious. So I popped the question. Hey, listen, Lois, I was wondering, if you're not too busy, what would you think about spending the previous part of your life with me?
I'm afraid that's not possible, Peter.
But I was rising through the ranks and fighting bigger and better opponents. I fought Butterbean, and I fought Can't Believe It's Not Butterbean. I could barely tell the difference. I fought Sugar Ray Leonard Nimoy, who put a Vulcan nerve pinch on me. The fight was deemed highly illogical. I defeated Lennox Lewis in the news, Evander Sallyfield, and Roberto Duran Duran. I was supposed to fight George Foreman, but I only got George 3 Men and a Baby. There's a lot more times, but this episode's only got a few minutes left. So finally, I got my shot at the title against the world champion, Marvelous Marvin, Mrs. Mitchell.
Lois, no one's ever gone the distance with Marvelous Marv and Mrs. Maisel before. But if I can just get in that ring yesterday,
Tomorrow?
and hear that bell ring still standing, I'll know I'm not just a bum from the streets.
I believe in you, Peter. Now go drink your eggs.
Oh, our dinnerware hut! Sorry. Sorry. Oh, you man. I was outmatched. A no-name punk fighting a world champion. I fought my heart out. I dug deep and had a kick-ass song on my side. But we couldn't afford the song from the movie, so we used the sound effects from Nintendo Punch-Out. Uppercut. The swollen eyes weren't from the fight. There was a cat in the arena, and I was highly allergic. But I done it. The only fighter ever to go the distance with the chick. But in that moment, there was only one thing I could think about.
Peter, the Roscoe exhibit at the museum is reopened. Are you busy last week?
She had nailed me. I was, in fact, free last week. I was the pride of Philadelphia. Eventually, I became the champ. I also changed my inspirational music to keep me motivated.
Baby Shark.
I guess it was a little taste of heaven. Let's just say at my funeral, there was quite a spread.
Some of this story ain't holding up for me.
I was cremated. Suffocated.
Yeah, the Baby Shark.
Yeah! Tragically, I died in training. I fell into a vat of Philadelphia cream cheese and suffocated. I guess it was a little taste of heaven. Let's just say at my funeral, there was quite a spread.
Some of this story ain't holding up for me.
I was cremated.
I don't think any of this is true.
My ashes were spread over an everything bagel.
Whatever it is, stay on Fox.
Hey, Joe, what about you? You're a pretty athletic guy. You have any sports stories?
Funny you should ask. Actually, back in 1988, I took part in the Crystal Light Aerobics competition. Representing Valley Health and Racket in Orlando, Mama Hartnett, Debbie Harvey, and Marissa McKeechin. Representing Shoulders Athletic Club in San Jose, Diane Teresi, Darren McGee, and Debbie Pardue. There I am. The guy on the left's dead. That's full. And Brittany Geiger.
Don't miss a heart-pounding moment of 911 only tomorrow on Fox.
Lego Masters is back with a bang!